Iran just won round one. Not on a battlefield. At the US Treasury Department. America went to war to destroy Iran's economy. 22 days later, the Treasury Secretary is talking about freeing Iranian oil. That is not a ceasefire. That is not a negotiation. That is a superpower blinking. And Iran saw it happen in real time. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. The most important development of this war just happened. Not in the Middle East. In a Fox Business studio. In Washington. Thursday morning. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent went on Fox Business and said 7 words that changed this war. In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil. 140 million barrels of Iranian crude, frozen by U.S. sanctions, sitting in tankers at sea, may be released. The U.S. imposed those sanctions to strangle Iran's economy. Releasing them means Iran gets paid for oil, while the war is still happening. While Iranian drones are still striking Saudi Arabia. While Iranian missiles are still hitting Israel. That is the definition of blinking. Iran never planned to defeat the U.S. military. That was never the goal. Iran's strategy from day one was economic warfare. Make the cost of this war so high that the U.S. economy breaks before Iran does. Every strike on Gulf energy infrastructure was calculated. Ras Laffan, Qatar's LNG terminal, 20% of world gas supply hit. Yanbu, Saudi Arabia's last oil port after Hormuz closed, struck. Hosn gas facilities in the UAE hit. Each strike was not random. Each one raised the oil price. Each dollar of oil above 100 sends $1 billion per day out of the U.S. economy. Iran was not fighting a military war. It was fighting a tax. The numbers prove Iran is winning the economic round. Oil at $115, the highest since 2008. Goldman Sachs warned 150 within 72 hours if South Pars is hit again. Germany declared an energy emergency. Japan restricted electricity in all government buildings. U.S. airlines added emergency fuel surcharges to every ticket. U.S. freight costs up 22% since February 28. The IMF activated its highest-level economic alert. Every one of those numbers is a point on Iran's scoreboard. None of them required Iran to defeat a single American soldier. Trump built his own trap. He approved Israel's South Pars strike. CNN reported it. The Wall Street Journal confirmed it. U.S. officials said so on record. South Pars sent oil to $115. Now the same administration that launched this war to destroy Iran's economy is considering freeing Iran's oil to stop the economic damage to America. Trump pulled the trigger. Then he paid for the bullet. He approved the strike that triggered a Gulf energy war. Then he told Israel to stop striking Iranian energy. Then his Treasury Secretary offered to give Iran its oil revenue back. That is not a strategy. That is a president reacting to a crisis he created. Count what Iran received in 22 days. Potential sanctions relief on 140 million barrels of oil, without a ceasefire. Without negotiations. Without surrendering anything. Proven ability to strike every major Gulf energy facility. Saudi Arabia hit. Qatar hit. UAE hit. Kuwait hit. Proof its missile and drone arsenal survived 22 days of the most intensive U.S.-Israeli bombing campaign since 2003. And a U.S. president publicly ordering Israel to stop striking Iranian energy infrastructure. Iran gave up nothing. Iran got everything it came for. There is one move Iran has not made. Abqaiq, the Saudi Aramco processing facility in the eastern province that handles 15% of global oil supply. Goldman Sachs said $150 the moment it gets hit. The U.S. knows this. Saudi Arabia knows this. Iran knows this. Iran struck Yanbu to prove it can reach Saudi infrastructure. Abqaiq is the real target, and Iran is holding it. Not because it cannot reach it. Because it is worth more as a threat than as a strike. The moment Iran needs the U.S. to blink again, Abqaiq is the card it plays. The pattern is now set. Iran hits Gulf energy. Oil spikes. U.S. economy bleeds. Washington looks for an exit. If that pattern holds, and nothing has broken it yet, Iran will keep hitting. not to destroy Gulf energy permanently, to keep pressure exactly high enough that the US keeps looking for a way out. The Bessent statement was the signal Washington was looking for an exit. Iran read it in real time. The IRGC knows the US wants to reduce oil prices without admitting defeat. That is leverage. Iran will not release that leverage until it gets something real in return. The US went to war 22 days ago to destroy Iran's economy. Today it is considering paying Iran for its oil. Iran did not shoot a single American soldier to get there. It hit oil infrastructure until Washington calculated the war cost more than it was worth. That is not a military defeat. That is a strategic one. If you want to understand how Day 21 set up everything that just happened, that video is on screen right now. Watch it next. And tell me below, does Iran hit Abqaiq next? Yes or a no? If Iran plays that card, this war changes overnight. Subscribe now. We cover every move the moment it happens. Stay safe.